Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for August 2019. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. I've already shuffled the decks, and as you can see, you had 4 jumping cards, so let me show you what they are. I'm going to turn them all over at once. You have the King of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so I feel like the King of Pentacles represents you because you're the earth sign. Of course, if you have a partner or an ex who's also an earth sign, this represents them. I see a very happy relationship here for the month of August. This can also represent a happy marriage. I feel like there is something going on here. You have the Page of Swords, which means that somebody has to speak their truth. It can also be that you're hearing the truth because I see you doing a lot of worrying here with the Nine of Swords. Keep in mind with the Nine of Swords, you're worrying over something that's not really true. Truth without merit. It could be that you're hearing the truth about a relationship or a partner that you've been really stressing about. So again, these are all just jumping cards. I'm going to put them back in here, and let's go ahead and start with this deck. Let's try to put them here in random places and see if any of these come up again. This is the love reading for the sign of Taurus for August 2019. You're starting off with the Magician. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. Queen of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. Four of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. The Lovers. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. Wheel of Fortune. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. Three of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. Knight of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. The World. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for August. And the Hermit. Okay, what's the most important message that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for August 2019? The message that you have, Taurus, is death. So this is something significant, highly significant, that could be changing in your love life. Keep in mind that death is a transformation. This is some type of rebirth. This is a huge, significant ending and a new beginning. This is usually a very positive card, and you have a very, this is probably the most positive spread that I've seen so far, and I'm almost done. So I feel like there is some type of big change in your love life that is for the better. Okay, if you would like to get a private reading with me, Taurus, just go to my website, channelguidance.com. I'll put a link down below, and you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's go ahead and start at the top and see what you have going on here. You have the Magician, the Queen of Swords, and the Four of Wands. So you have an air sign here, which would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It can even represent you if you have a moon or rising in air sign. Sometimes the King and the Queen of Swords do come up when someone is doing a lot of thinking, a lot of analyzing, which could be you because you did have the Nine of Swords jump for you at the beginning of the reading. I feel like you're being told here that you can manifest this relationship that we see here with the Four of Wands. The Magician is telling the sign of Taurus that you are very powerful in the month of August. So make sure that you're keeping your eye on the prize. This is telling you that you have everything that you need to manifest this, which can either be a marriage or a committed long-term relationship. So keep in mind, you have the power to create this. Even if you feel that you don't, the month of August is a time for you to make a huge change, a big transformation, so that you can have this happy relationship from the Four of Wands. Now in the second row, you have the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Three of Cups. So again, all very positive. You have the Lovers, which can represent the sign of Gemini. But this also just represents, this is a relationship that you want very much. Yes, it represents perhaps some type of soulmate relationship or a long-term committed relationship, a decision. But for me, this represents a relationship that you want very much. You want this to happen. It's in your hands with the Magician being here. You also have the Wheel of Fortune. So the month of August is a very, very lucky time for you. To me, the Wheel of Fortune represents a streak of good luck. But it also means that things can move forward for you, especially if you've been feeling stuck in your love life. The Wheel of Fortune is change for the better. Also movement, things moving forward, relationships that were stuck finally moving to the next level. You have Three of Cups here. So again, all very positive for the sign of Taurus. This means that you can be extremely happy in the month of August. This is you celebrating perhaps a new relationship. Perhaps for those who are single, this is a celebration. This is joy, laughter. I feel like there's a positive change here with the Wheel of Fortune. Again, in a relationship that you want very much. You want to hold on to this relationship. The month of August is a perfect time for you to manifest this with the Magician. Okay, let's take a look at the last row here and see what it is. You have the Knight of Cups. So again, very positive. The Knight of Cups is saying there can be a lot of positive changes, a lot of movement in your love life. The Knight of Cups can even represent some type of opportunity, a proposal, maybe a marriage proposal, a proposal to get back together with an ex, a proposal to talk, a proposal to work things out, because it is time for a new beginning. You have the World. The World does mean that it's time to close the door to the past, or it's time to close the door to a certain chapter in your life where you were not happy. I do see here that maybe you have some thinking to do with the Hermit. The Hermit can sometimes represent the sign of Virgo, but usually this just means that there is a lot of thinking that needs to happen. Perhaps, it's time for a new chapter for the sign of Taurus. It's time to close the door to the past. So the World does tie in with death, because this is an ending and a new beginning, and the World does represent an ending. It's time to close the door to the past, perhaps, to past arguments, past conflict, because it is time for you to be happy here. It's time for you to have this safe haven, this happy home, this happy relationship, this happy marriage. But for some reason, this is all in your hands. The very first card is always really significant, and this actually is all about you manifesting this relationship here that you want very much. Okay, let's go ahead and get a few more cards and see what other messages come up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for August 2019? You have the Nine of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for August? The Moon. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for August? And the Eight of Wands. Okay, so let's take a look at these last three cards. Again, very positive with the exception of the Moon, although it's not a negative card. You have the Nine of Cups. So this is perhaps wish fulfillment. Again, a relationship that you want very much. The Lovers. The Nine of Cups is saying this relationship can be yours in the month of August. This is a wish being fulfilled. But it also just represents you being extremely happy. So we see a lot of happiness here and a lot of happiness here with the Three of Cups. I feel like, things are not what they seem. You have the Moon, which can represent the sign of Pisces. But to me, the Moon means that things are very confusing right now. Things are, it could be that you're just not in the know about certain things. You do have the Eight of Wands here. It could be that you've been waiting for something to change in your love life. And there is definitely change here with the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like no matter what you're going through right now, the Moon is, is telling you that there are certain things that are hidden from you that maybe don't make sense right now. Maybe you don't know how someone really feels, or you don't know that someone still loves you, or you don't know that someone is still thinking of you. This can even be self-deceit. It could be that someone doesn't want to admit that they still care. Maybe it's you, maybe it's the person that you love. It could be confusion, fear. Either way, there is a lot of happiness here. I feel like there is some type of misunderstanding. You also have the Eight of Wands, which, this is some type of very exciting development in your love life. And the Eight of Wands does mean that you've been waiting for this. This is what you've been waiting for. This is why you're watching this video. The Eight of Wands is something very exciting that you had almost given up hope on. You thought it's not going to happen for me, and it does. So it's here. Again, looks are deceiving. So if you're watching this and you're brokenhearted, I feel like the month of August could really turn things around. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some cards from the confirmation deck. Let's see what comes up here. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their love life for August 2019? You've got the Five of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for August? The Knight of Swords. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for August? Understand another Knight. Knight of Wands. So you've got two Knights there. What's the most important message that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for August 2019? Wow. So you actually have the Eight of Wands as your repeat card. So again, what have you been waiting for? The Eight of Wands means that you have been waiting for something. You've been waiting, usually with the Eight of Wands, you've been waiting for quite some time where you've almost given up hope. This can be an exciting development. It can even be an exciting message, exciting communication. I I mean, this definitely has a feeling of perhaps communicating with an ex. Okay, so let's take a look at these three right here. You've got the Five of Wands. I think this is the only challenging card besides the Moon, which is not really challenging. It's just very confusing. This is the only challenging card that you have in this entire spread. Like I said, this is the most positive reading that I've done for the month of August. The Five of Wands can mean that there is a challenge here. It can be, that somebody is fighting themselves. Someone is feeling conflicted. It could be you, or it could be the person that you love. With the Five of Wands, you're fighting yourself. It can also be that there's disagreements or fighting that is creating conflict. You've got two knights here, so there is a lot of movement, especially with the wheel here as well. There is a lot of movement, perhaps, where somebody had been holding back. The Five of Wands, somebody who had been fighting themselves. There's change and movement around this. Expect the unexpected. You have the Knight of Swords. Things can change very quickly for you. Again, you have the most positive reading that I've done for the month of August. So if you're feeling like, well, my story is not that positive, it's probably going to change with the Knight of Swords. This is a lot of things changing very quickly for you. You just have to stay focused. Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands never gives up and continues on his path. And I place this right over the Lovers, which again, this represents a relationship that you want very much. This is saying keep your eyes on the prize, which would be the person you love. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the X spread. I have the deck right here. Let me go ahead and get these out of the way. And as always with the X spread, this can be, yes, for those of you that had a long-term committed relationship and you broke up. But it can also be for those of you where maybe you just dated someone a few times and you want to know if you're going to get back together. Let's go ahead and see what comes up for you. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August 2019. Six of Wands. So you're starting with victory. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. Seven of Cups. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. Queen of Wands. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. Wheel of Fortune. So you have the wheel again because you had this in the first spread. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. Judgment. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. Ten of Pentacles. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. Strength. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. Page of Swords. Show me the energies around Taurus's ex for August. And the Magician, which ironically, this is her last card in this 9-part spread. I'm going to get more. But in the first spread, it was the first card. Now it is the last card. Okay, what's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their love life as far as their ex for August 2019? Wow. Okay, so you did have this card from the confirmation deck, and here it is again. In fact, I'm looking at it right here. So as far as your ex, there is some type of conflict here. I feel like this is someone who is fighting themselves. Like maybe they want to get back together, they want to talk to you, but part of them is saying, no, stay away. So let's go ahead and start at the top. You have the Six of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So again, you're starting with this energy of victory, and we are talking about an ex, someone who is no longer in your life. You've broken up, you've gone your separate ways. You're starting with victory, which means that whatever it is that, you're struggling with, whatever it is that this represents, this conflict, or perhaps there was a lot of fighting, a lot of misunderstandings. You did have the Moon in the first spread. This is something you can work through. With the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is victory. This is being able to get past any obstacles that have been standing in your way. Things, I told you with the Moon that looks are deceiving, and now you get the Seven of Cups. So this is significant when we're asking about an ex, because this means that, your ex is actually highly confused. This is someone who is lost, especially if your ex is a fire sign. You got the Queen of Wands. Which would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising, or someone in that energy, someone who's very kind of fiery, self-confident, very energetic. They don't have to be a fire sign, but there is a lot of confusion here. This can also represent choices, like they don't know who to choose, especially if there's a third party. They don't know who to choose. They're torn. They're conflicted. Hello, Five of Wands are conflicted. Victory. You can work things out with your ex. Now the second row, you've got all very positive. The Wheel, Judgment, the Ten of Pentacles. Even though you're broken up, I still see commitment here. I still see a long-term relationship. This can also be a marriage. But more importantly, you have the Judgment card. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see when you're asking about an ex, because this represents a relationship that was over or dead. Well, both things coming back to life. This is the phoenix rising from the ashes. The commitment, the relationship is still here, or the marriage is still here. And again, this is a repeat card from the first spread, the Wheel. There's going to be movement. There is movement around the relationship with your ex. And there is a new beginning here. There can still be a relationship. It's just, there is confusion. There are a lot of emotions churning right now. And it can be your ex, but it can also be with you. Let's look down here. We've got the Strength card. The Strength card can represent the sign of Leo, but this is also saying to be patient with this whole situation, especially if you're dealing with an ex that's conflicted and, there's a lot of emotions, that, there's a lot of confusing energy. This is saying be patient. Don't give in to your ego. This is all about taming your inner beast. Because you had the Nine of Swords jump at the beginning of the reading. There's a lot of agonizing, a lot of fears. You have the Magician. Again, this was your first card in the first spread, and now here it is as the last card that I pulled. So this is saying stay empowered. This is saying hold on to your power, because if you lose it, which would be here, if you don't tame your ego, then perhaps this happily ever after, this reunion or this relationship may not happen. It's for some reason it's popping up as you are in control. You can manifest this. You also have the Page of Swords here. So the Page of Swords would be communication. This is speaking the truth. Perhaps, your ex needs to really communicate with you as far as how they're feeling. I did get that feeling from the Five of Wands the first time, and then it popped up again. So it could be that someone is not being completely honest about how they feel. Perhaps there's something that you don't know about your ex, or something maybe that you need to share. The Page of Swords is just saying there has to be honesty. There has to be communication. And it might be with you, because this card has popped up again. Maybe, you have the power to make this new beginning happen. Let me get a few more cards. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for August 2019? Got the Six of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex for August? The Two of Cups and the Two of Wands. So, this is significant because we're asking about an ex, and then the Six of Cups comes up. This is the past. So I feel like the connection with your ex is still there. The emotions are still there. The past is still here, and it's connected to the soulmate card. So that kind of soulmate bond that you thought you had, it's still there. I still see it connected. It's just on hold. It's not over. It's just on hold. The Two of Wands does mean there's going to be a delay in maybe getting back together, or there's going to be a delay in this commitment, but it's still there. It's, again, that connection that you had, it's still valid. For some reason, you're being told that you can manifest this. Okay, let's go ahead and get a few cards from the confirmation deck. Let me just give it a quick shuffle for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex for August 2019? What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex for August 2019? What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex for August 2019? Okay, let's see what comes up here. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex? Ten of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex? Death. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus about their ex? And the Five of Pentacles. What's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their ex for August 2019? Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles, this is teamwork. You've got to work together. I know I've been saying you need to manifest. There's something that you can do, but you can't do all the work. You can't force someone to come back to you. You can't force someone to love you. But I feel for the sign of Taurus, you're not forcing anything, because I still see the connection here with the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups. That connection to you is still there. It's just, I see it being on hold here. But again, you do have to work together with the Three of Pentacles. This is teamwork. So I feel like in the month of August, you could be working together to try to work things out. I do feel like, someone is really tired. I feel like it's you. Perhaps you've really tried. Maybe you've tried to understand them. Perhaps you've tried to work things out, but then you break up again. It just feels like an uphill battle. Is this someone that just feels like throwing in the towel because I've done everything that I can do and it's just not happening? I see a lot of suffering here with the Five of Pentacles. This is someone who's completely shut you out of their lives, kind of just left you out in the cold, but there is a huge change here with Death. And ironically, I'm looking at it right here. This was the main energy from the first reading that I did for you. So it is here 2 times. There is a huge transformation that is just waiting for the sign of Taurus. As far as a relationship where you feel like, I've lost them, I've tried everything, or perhaps, there was, a lot of negative energy in the relationship that was just really draining, and maybe you felt like you had to walk away. There is unhappiness and suffering here. But again, there is a huge, huge transformation, some type of ending and new beginning. Keep in mind that when we're dealing with the X spread here, that could be the end of difficulty, the end of being apart. Because although some challenges popped up here and with the confirmation deck, everything else here, again, this has been pretty much this has been the most positive spread that I've done so far. So I feel like if you're kind of, hopeful and maybe things don't look so good as far as your ex, I feel like there can be a big change here. Right smack in the middle of the reading, you have the Judgment card. This is a second chance for a relationship coming back to life. Okay, Taurus, this has been your love reading for August 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.